everybody, how are you? I am back for February's Life and Spiritual Coaching video series. And this month, of course, February is the month of love, so why not, right? So that's what I want to delve into this month is love. And there's so many different types of love, and I want to try to touch upon each one, and I want to finish the video with a small meditation to help open your heart, okay? So let's talk about way back when, right? Let's start with way back when. So let's start with the dawn of time, okay? I know it sounds kind of weird, but that's where I'm going with this. Man was created, woman was created, people were created, however you want to call it, okay? Every single one of us is a spark of the divine. And what is the divine? It's whatever and whoever you connect with. You may say the divine is God. You may say divine is creation, the universe. Whatever works for you, that is fine, okay? I'm not going to pick and choose. You may catch me just saying universe at times. You may catch me saying God at times. To me, it's all one and the same. So we are all a spark of the divine. And what is the divine? The divine is universal love. So therefore, we are all love. Okay? Now this can go into deep, deep conversation of quantum physics and the black holes and the Big Bang, and I'm not going there. But from the creation of time, we were all created in the likeness of the divine, which is a spark of love. Spark of the divine is a spark of love. We are all created in the eye of love, okay? So what happens? Now you're floating around in the cosmos somewhere, and you decide, I'm going to come back and live a life on this planet. Okay. So now you pick and choose your parents, your siblings, the people you're going to connect with throughout your life. You're going to pick your dramas, your traumas, your ups, your downs, your decision-making times, your lessons to learn, so on and so forth. So now the day comes, and here you are. You're born, all right? You're born into what we hope is the loving arms of your mother and your father. And what happens? That doesn't always happen, does it? Sometimes you're born to a person who made you but doesn't want you. Therefore, they've created for you your first life lesson. Being abandoned, being not wanted. A lot of people don't realize that that's your first trauma at birth because your soul doesn't get to connect with the love it already has for that body that has been carrying it all this time to bring it here. So I know, again, this sounds like, wow, this is really deep. This isn't just about love and, I love you and you love me kind of thing. No, it's not. Love is in many, many, many different forms. So now you've been rejected at birth. You grow up in, maybe, hopefully, an adoptive family, but in some cases not. And you are born into the foster system. Now that's tough for a lot of kids. Personally, I don't know what that's like because I haven't been there. I really don't know anybody personally who's been there. But let me tell you, it can't be easy because you get fostered into a home that, well, this isn't working out for me, so I'm going to give it back. Then you're in another home. No, this isn't working out. I'm giving them back. And that can go on for a while for some people, some kids, So it's rejection after rejection after rejection, not including the big abandonment in the very beginning of your life. So even though you can grow up in a household later where you're fully accepted and they're great people, the damage has already been done. That heartache has already been created, even though you were only an infant. We are energy. And when negative energy hits us, we feel it and we absorb that. So as far as I'm concerned, if you've been rejected right from birth, you've already got your first hole in the heart, we'll call it. The first grief, the first pain, the first trauma. Now we can go through life, and of course kids grow up and they go to school. So what happens at school? You know, sometimes there's fights with other kids. Sometimes there's a bully who picks on every kid there is. And if you're a sensitive person, like I was, every little thing hurts. Like, oh, that's not nice. I don't like that. Why are they treating me that way? You know? And, you know, now as an adult, I can say, oh, they're just being an ass, and I let it go. You know what I mean? Because I don't care what people have to say anymore. But as children, we have to learn these things. So this is, you know, here's a hurt, there's another hurt, you know, and here's a drama, here's some trauma, here's a bully, here's this, and here's that. And that adds to that original hurt from birth. So see how things start building up? Now you go to middle school, maybe you get your first crush. And you're like, oh my God, you're crushing all over this person, only to find out like, ew, I don't like you. I would never go out with you. Just go away. Now here's another major crush, another heartache. Oh my God, right? 3 major heartaches, and you're only in middle school. Now you get to high school. Now you get the serious boyfriend. But then you find out, oh, maybe he's cheating. Or, you know, on the other hand of it, maybe she's cheating, you know, or, you know, maybe you discovered that you're gay and don't know how to deal with that either. And now you're getting ridiculed for that. And then maybe non-acceptance. And of course, you know how all of that goes. So here's another heartache. Ouch, right? You're in high school and you've already hit 4 major traumas, not including whatever else could happen besides that. We're just talking heart center. So it's like, what is going on? So it's like, you know, we do our best as young adults and young people to kind of like let that shit go, as they say, right? But what happens is that we don't let it go. We stick it down in that dungeon that I've always talked about, and it sits there and it ferments and it festers and it just kind of like creeps and crawls in the basement of the dungeon. And at times it rears its ugly head and you're like, no, get in there, go away, lock that door, right? And then we forget about being rejected as a child. It's still there, right over here, you know what I mean? But we kind of forget about it. We overlook it. Middle school, high school, elementary school, whatever, we were kids. Forget about it, okay? Now we're older. Now we're getting into the seriousness of life, right? We're adults. Maybe we've gone to college, maybe we chose a trade, maybe we didn't go to school at all, but moved on about our business and got a job and met somebody nice, right? Ooh, all right. So now here comes the romantic love, the real romantic love. Okay, I love this person. I love him, I love her, I love them, whatever it is. And it's just like, wow. Like your heart is swelling with the energy of this new relationship. And I know it very well because, I mean, we've all been there. We have all been there. I remember my first love, 16 years old. Oh my God, I love this man to death. Like, man, he was a boy, I was a young girl. I mean, we were kids, you know what I mean? And, you know, maybe in some instances it works because I have a niece who met her husband at the age of 14 or 15, I think it was. And now she's 36 or going to be 36, and they're still together. They're married. They have a daughter. They have an amazing relationship. So it can happen. The chances are very rare because it's not always common for those things to happen. But for them, perfect. For the rest of us, we have to work at it. And not to say they don't have to work at stuff, because I'm sure they do. But here's our first love, okay? So our first real love. And something about this person now suddenly fills our heart with this sensation of love, right? And a sensation of, fulfillment and oh my God, just so much, like you got butterflies, you get you're blushing, you know, you're giddy, it's whatever, you know what I mean? But is it real love? So now you may be looking at me as I'm saying all this going, what are you talking about? So what I mean by that, is it real love? Have you ever healed the traumas from birth until now in that first real love? And it's like, I forgot about it. Yeah, you forgot about it, but did you fix it? Did you heal it? You know, that's the big question. And most of the time we don't. We do not heal what's buried deep down in that dungeon. We don't. So what happens? This person, you may love them, yes, but do you love them wholeheartedly to the point where you want them in your lives, you don't need them in your lives? There's a difference between the two. So when we want somebody, that means we are totally happy with ourselves. We love ourselves enough to say, you know what, I would just love to share myself with someone else. That's wanting to have somebody in your life. Or do you need someone in your life to fulfill that hole that was created at birth? Do you need someone in your life to fulfill that hole of the love you didn't get as a child, or the love you didn't get from your peers or your friends? Do you need someone in your life to fill all of those voids? And maybe because this first person that comes along and makes you feel like this is the person, maybe they're what they've offered you is to show you love, and you feel that love, and that's the love you want. Yes, but it's not meant to plug in those holes with corks, so to say. It's meant to be with your love. See, there's a difference. And I know it sounds really confusing, but as I have worked on myself over all these years and been alone for 10 years, with the exception of a couple of people I dated that, you know, didn't work out, whatever. But I went out on dates because I wanted to, not because I was looking for somebody to give me the love I was looking for. I know what I needed. I found what I needed. You know what I mean? I'm a human being, and yes, I still question myself at times, but for the most part, you know what? I love my life, I love who I am, and I love where I am. I love me. So, with that being said, now go back and look at your first real big relationship. Did it work out for you? And if it did, fantastic. But are you somebody who, at one point or another, were given these lessons in life where you had drama and trauma and lack of love and heartache and so on and so forth? You know, think about that. So in your relationships, are you looking for that person to fill that void, or do you want someone in your life so you can share your time with them? So my thing with you today in this video is we need to work on healing our hearts. And I mean, I'm not going to go through a whole person's life and what happens or doesn't happen with life and with love and so on and so forth. But I think you get the understanding, you know what I mean, of what happens and how these little dramas and traumas happen to create these little holes in our heart, right? So that you know the difference between needs and wants when it comes to love. So if you grew up like I did, where, I mean, I was born in the late 60s, so, you know, I grew up in the 70s as a kid into the 80s when I finished high school. And back then it was like no big deal for my Italian grandmother to come over and pinch my cheeks and tell me how much she loved me and tell me how fat I got. Okay? Oh, you got fat. You know, I'm like, okay. You know? And then tell you like, oh, I have such a big nose. Don't worry. She's, when you grow up, you're going to have a big nose like me too. And I'm like, oi. Right? So these are the things that get thrown at you as a kid when I was younger. And I'm sure it still happens today. Maybe not to the extent it used to, because we do look at life a lot differently now. But it's like, oh, I'm fat. I'm fat. That sticks to your subconscious back here. You're fat. So I have gone through life up and down where I have been thin. I have been thin-ish. I've been heavy, thinner, heavy again. And now, you know what? This is me. Like me, love me, leave me, I don't care. This is me. I'm doing the best I can to maintain my health. And that's all that matters. So I grew up thinking I was a fat girl. So I, you know, in high school, no, I don't look like the Barbie doll. No, in the back of my mind, I think I'm fat. I actually dropped down from a size, I don't know, I want to say 12, which is really not big, to a 4. And remember going to a place I was volunteering at, And I happened to stand in front of the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, I'm fat. And I still thought I was fat. And then I look at me now and I look at pictures back then. I'm like, you dummy, you weren't fat. But it was so stuck and ingrained in my head that no matter what size I was, a 4, a 6, a 10, or a 12, I was fat. Why? Because these things were thrown at me, and those things hurt your heart. It's not a loving thing to tell somebody that they're fat. You know, it's not a loving thing to say, oh, you're going to have a big fat nose someday because you're Italian like I am. I'm like, okay. Like, and of course I know my grandmother didn't mean it in a bad way, but back then that's how we talked. You know, if you had something to say, you said it, and it didn't matter if it hurt somebody's feelings or not, you know? So it's like, think of those things, you know, and it's not just those things and how people live lives and whatnot. The whole issue here that I want to keep on track with is the heart healing. So whether or not you have been told you're fat, you're ugly, you're not tall enough, you're not like your sister, you're not like your brother, you're not this, you're not that, whatever it may be, okay? No, it's wrong. The only thing that matters is what is right for you. So yes, you know what? I am 56 years old. I have had gray hair since I was 11 years old. I am on the heavy side. And you know what? It doesn't matter. I keep myself as healthy as I possibly can, and I love myself. I love myself. That's where I want you guys to get to. So yes, we're going to talk about self-love. We're going to talk about romantic love, parent love, kid love, I don't know, puppy love, you know, all kinds of things. So, you know, let's go there, you know. So think about how you feel about self-love. If you say self-love, what does that feel like to you? Self-love is being okay with who you are in the moment. Self-love is loving your body, loving your mind, loving your time with yourself, being okay with being by yourself. When you love yourself enough, it doesn't matter if you have somebody in your life, whether it's a romantic partner or more friends, you know. So I know who my friends are, and I don't need to be with them 24/7. You know, I don't have a romantic partner right now. I would like one. It would be nice, you know, to have somebody to share time with. But I don't feel the need, you know, I don't crave it like it has to be a part of me. So where are you in that aspect? Do you love what you look like? Do you love who you are as a person, emotionally, mentally, right? If you're looking at yourself and going, oh, you look horrible today. Oh, you're gaining weight. Oh, look at you. You look like death, you know? I mean, that's not good self-love. You know, granted, yeah, occasionally we can wake up in the morning and go, oh, I guess I didn't sleep too well last night. But that's just an observation, you know. But when you sit there and keep dogging yourself all the time, I'm not good enough, my skin's not clear enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not tall enough, I don't hang around with the right people, I'm not as popular as other people, I'm this, that, and the other. It goes on and on and on. So for self-love, here's your homework. Try something different. Louise Hay, I love that woman. I went to see her at least 3 or 4 times, I think it was. And of course, I've read a lot of her books. Her thing was stand in front of the mirror every morning. Like before you get yourself all ready and dolled up and whatnot and whatever you got to do, just stand in the mirror and look at yourself. And tell yourself, I love you. And look in your eyes, you know, because it's very easy to go, yeah, I love you. No, look into your own eyes and say, I love you. So as I'm doing this video, right now, of course, I'm looking at a camera and I'm looking right into my own eyes and I'm saying, I love you. And I can just feel that energy. I truly can. So practice that. I love you. If you catch yourself saying one bad thing about yourself, whether it's how ugly you are or how fat you are or how death look you are, how your clothes are not great, or I don't care, you know the thing, whatever it is. The minute you catch yourself saying something negative about yourself, I want you to turn around and say 3 beautiful things about yourself. I feel fat, but you know what? I have an amazing personality. I'm fun. I have friends, I'm alive, I'm walking, I'm talking, okay? So on it goes. Name 3 great things about yourself. I don't care if you say, you know what, I have great toes. I have great toes. I don't care. I have beautiful fingers. I have long fingers, right? Whatever it is. Whatever it is. You find one negative thing about yourself, you say 3 positive things about yourself. And you'll notice that the positive always outweighs the negative. And if you say 3 negative things about yourself, then you better find 9 positive things to say about yourself. Challenge yourself. You are beautiful as you are. You know, I always think of this, you know, and I hate to compare us humans to dogs, but there's a million different breeds of dogs, and dogs come in every shape and size and color, long hair, short hair, no hair, I don't know, whatever. Do we sit there and judge? Oh my God, that one's hair is not long enough. Oh, that one's hair is too long. Oh, that one's color is off. Or that one's too short. That one's too tall. That one's too pudgy. That one's too muscular. No, we don't. Dogs are dogs. They come in all different shapes and sizes. Human beings are no different. Human beings are no different. You know, think of it like, oh my God, Oreos, okay? How many flavors of Oreos? 20, 25? It's a cookie. Who cares what the flavor is? Who cares what the color is? It's a cookie. We're people. Who cares what size we are? Who cares what color we are? Who cares what we like, don't like, so on and so forth. Love yourself. Love yourself. Okay? All right. That's enough about self-love. Now, romantic love, right? Because, you know, well, I'm going to stop. Let me back up. How about parent love? Do you love your parents? Do your parents love you? I find, because I do lots of readings and do coaching, that I have people that come in and go, my mother this, my dad that, my parents whatever, and I'm like, wow, do you love them? Right? I get one of those. I'm like, do you know deep down inside you do? My cat, okay? So give me 2 seconds. Check this out. This is one of my loves. This is Mama, okay? Okay, so anyway, she's an attention hog at times. But anyway, pet love. Parents are not always easy. You know, I'm a parent, and I'm sure I'm not easy at times either. Why? Because I love my kids, you know, and I want to be there to support them, and I want to be there when they fall, but I also know I need to let them be and do their thing, you know, so yeah, it can be difficult at times. But that's typical parent stuff. Now, what about the parents who don't show you any love? You're no good. You're not good enough. You can't even do this right. Your brother's smarter than you are. Your sister's better than you are. Oh, this is a good one. I wish I had never had you. And what does that do to a kid? All right? So I always tell people, I'm like, you know what? When you have parents to that extreme, that's when boundaries have to come in. You know, and it's kind of like one of those, like, you know what? I love you, but from over there. And it's awful because we're brought into this world with a belief system that you're supposed to have a mom and dad who love you. They brought you into this world. They're supposed to love you. They're supposed to take care of you. They're supposed to care for you. And mentally, emotionally, physically, all your needs, you know, your food, your clothing, place to live, so on and so forth. And some people just don't get that. I mean, they don't receive it. And it's like, okay, now wait a minute. So in all honesty, my ex-husband had his flaws. I'll just say that. And his kids did not talk to him for quite some time. And he couldn't understand why. And I'm like, I'm not going to get into it. But they finally chose to start talking to him probably at 7 years after they stopped talking to him. And he took it as, oh, water under the bridge. I don't know what happened, but whatever. And just went on with life like nothing had ever happened. Where they went on with it, well, I understand he's my dad. And I wish my dad loved me like my other friends and, their dads. But that's not my case. So with my dad, I need to have boundaries. So therefore, they have created boundaries with their dad. They don't jump when he calls. They don't respond immediately. They do, on occasion, go out with him just to kind of catch up. But for the most part, they have a big boundary. And it's understandable. But I remember one of my kids when they were younger, when this all started, she was upset and she was crying and she was like, why do I have to have such a jerk for a dad? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Because I know there's more going on with your mind right now. I can tell. And she's like, well, I go to this one's house and their dad is fun. He plays games with them. He takes them out for ice cream. This one's dad is so funny and he's always joking with us. And, if we're playing a game, he hops right in and plays a game with us. If we're outside playing ball, he's out there with us. It's just like, and I'm like, well, you know what? Unfortunately for you, your dad is who he is. And yes, maybe you don't have the relationship you were hoping for, but instead of focusing on this one person, because that's what it felt like, is she was continuously focusing on the one person who she could not get the acceptance she was looking for, could not find the love she was looking for. I says, let that go and focus on the other 9 or 10 people in your life who do love you unconditionally. That's the difference. So yes, we come into this world and we're told we're supposed to have a mom and we're supposed to have a dad, or in some cases, 2 dads, 2 moms, whatever it is. And it's like, it doesn't happen for everybody. So yes, it goes back to that child trauma, but she also has to learn that it is what it is, heal from it, move on, create the boundaries. And now she's the happiest young adult I know. And I'm very proud of her. I'm proud of all my kids. So there's always different situations. So yeah, we have expectations of what things are supposed to look like. They don't always work that way. So parent love, not always easy. I do tell people at times, be sure to remember to have a different perception of your parents other than just what you're seeing at face value. So yes, maybe my grandmother would tell me I was fat and tell me I'm going to have a big schnoz someday, right? But again, what was she told? Well, how was she taught to talk to people? Back then, it was just a free-for-all. You could tell somebody you were fat. You could tell somebody they were, oh, you're just a woman. You're talking back in my grandmother's time. So it's like, those things were acceptable then. Of course, now they're not. But even when I was a kid, things still weren't completely acceptable. You should have been skinny. You should have been fit. You should have been, whatever. You're a woman, so get a secretary's job or work in a restaurant, wait tables, or, clean houses, those kinds of things. So things change. So as things change and progress, we have to move along with that, and we have new belief systems, but yet the old ones are still hurting. So we have to make sure we heal from that. So we've had self-love, child's neglect, parental love. Now let's go do the romance, okay? Because everybody wants to know about the romance. So yes, to be honest, I've dated a few people before I got married. I was married twice. First time didn't work out because his feelings about relationships were more about the money than the love, and there was cheating involved, and it ended in blah, 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 done. Whatever. Water under the bridge now. I forgave it. I let it go. I've actually talked to this person, and it is what it is. My second marriage was with my children's father, and that hasn't changed. So where that ended was just a bunch of narcissistic energy that was going around that never got resolved and probably never will, because, well, his belief system is his and it just is what it is. So, but what have I learned? So the first time I got divorced, I learned, oh my God, I don't need somebody in my life. I don't need a person to take care of me. I can take care of myself. And that was something I had forgotten about myself because my mother raised me, my parents raised me to be very independent and to take care of myself. And I lost that when I got married to my first husband because I was like, oh my God, a man, he's going to take care of me. And it was like, I don't know where that perception comes from. I don't know if it's the movies or whatever it is, but it was like, to me, that's what it felt like. And so when that fell apart, I was like, wait a minute. Like, I wanted somebody in my life so bad that no matter what was going on, I was making an excuse after excuse after excuse for him, for us, for everything. And it was just, wow, what happened to me? So, I found myself and I learned from it and I moved on. And then, of course, I got trapped again in the second husband thing. And I won't call it a trap, and I won't say I regret it, because I don't, because I have 3 amazing kids, and they're all young adults now, and they're beautiful. So I don't regret it. I know it was a learning lesson, and I know it was meant to happen. And again, it was one of those like, okay, I learned to have my independence, but now I need to learn to speak up. So as things progressed towards the end of my marriage, I finally started having a voice. And I don't like what you said. I don't like what you did. That's not right. This is wrong. We need to talk about this. Let's work on this. Whatever it was, that's what it was. And it still didn't do anything, because you can't change people's minds. So that's the end of that. But now, like I said, 10 years along, I feel great. I feel great. I love myself. I am happy with myself. I'm happy with my situation. And if I have somebody to share it with, great. Great. So, for the rest of you, what is going on in your romantic area? Maybe you've been hurt so much you don't want anybody in your life. Or maybe, like myself, you found yourself to be a very independent person and don't need anybody, but maybe someday you'd like to have somebody in your life. And that's okay too. But make sure your heart is open. Now this goes back to, well, let's see. How many times have I been hurt? How many times have I grieved? How many times have my heart been stomped on? And maybe now I'm thinking I'm in a good place for a new relationship, but yet somewhere in that subconscious, your head is going, no, 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 no. Somebody could approach you and you'd be like, oh, hey, look at this. This is a nice person for me, right? Only to find out that your subconscious is going, red flags, red flags. What if he's like everybody else? What if she's like everybody else? What if it doesn't work out? Oh my God, what happens? And that fear sets in. It's probably because you haven't healed your heart yet. So we need to work on that. We need to let go. We need to patch up our own hearts. It's really what it comes down to. We need to patch up our own hearts. So with that being said, if there's any past relationships, husbands, wives, partners, significant others, anyone who has hurt your heart and you need to grieve, whether it could even be somebody that, it could be your mom, your dad, sister, brother who passed away that you never got to say goodbye. That's a hole in your heart. Okay? I want you to write a letter to each person. And obviously you're not going to give it to them. This is for you. This is for your healing. Write a letter and express every bit of emotion that you have. Good, bad, or otherwise. Yell, scream, holler, swear. I don't care. Penmanship doesn't count. Spelling doesn't count. And I tell people this all the time. Do it. It works. When you're done writing that letter, notice right away you're like, oh. Think about it this way. How many times have you been worked up over something and your best friend comes along, or your sister, brother, whoever, somebody you're really close to, and you just vent. You're like, blah, here you go. Oh, God, it felt so good to get that out. Writing it does the same thing. So unless you want to go stand outside and just yell at whoever in the middle of your yard, write a letter instead, okay? Write a letter, tell them exactly how you feel. You hurt me, you're an asshole, fuck you, whatever it is. I don't care. Don't be afraid of the words. They're just words, okay? Even the swear words, they're just words. Get it all out. I don't care if it's 2 sentences or 20 pages long. Get it all out. Then I want you to take it outside and safely, please, burn it. As if to say, you know what? I've said my piece. I'm burning this out of my life. I'm moving on. That is cutting the cords to the pain. Cutting the cords to the person, the situation, whatever it may be. So that is one way to heal from heartache. Whether it's heart hurt, heartache, grief, doesn't matter. The next thing you can do is do a cord cutting meditation with Archangel Michael, which you basically just sit and close your eyes, a few deep breaths, call in Archangel Michael and say, please, Archangel Michael, cut away any cords of attachment that I have to anything and anyone that no longer serves me. So this way it'll kind of cover you from cords that you've created to other people and cords that other people have created to you. So cord cutting, writing letters, breathe, breathe, breathe. Because I know what happens is people get so involved with trying to heal and trying to write that they don't breathe. So make sure you are breathing. The next thing I want to talk about too, and the meditation, of course, is another way of healing, which we're going to do at the end of the video. But another part of healing is healing with issues between you and your children, if you have children. So some people, and like I said, I've worked with lots of people over the years. Some people, like my son, my daughter, does drugs, is an addict, keeps running away, can't hold a job, keeps borrowing money, keeps going hang with the wrong people, keeps breaking up with significant others, has kids, doesn't take care of their kids, abandon their kids. I know as a parent it hurts you to know that your child is not living life to their fullest, and it sucks. I know it does. I see it in the face of people I work with, and it's just like, it's sad. It is really, really sad. But when it comes to your kids, know that from birth until they moved off on their own to do their own thing, you have done everything you're supposed to. You have taught them to talk and to walk and to potty and to eat and to play and to socialize and all the things that life needs. You have sent them to school to get an education. You have put them in social situations to hang with other kids, you know, girls and boys and all that. Taught them to be non-judgmental. You've taught them to be kind to other kids. You've taught them everything you can possibly teach them. And yet they turned out the way they turned out. Why? Because, understand this first and foremost, every single human being has free will. So what is free will? It means we have the freedom to pick and choose everything in our lives, no matter what. So if mom and dad has taught you to be a kind person and you turn out to be a bully, that's their choice. That has nothing to do with you as a parent. And if you're not a parent and you're listening to this, being an adult with children around you, whether it's nieces, nephews, grandchildren, whatever it is, well, grandchildren, of course, wouldn't count if you're not a parent, but you could have step-grandchildren like I do. You could have nieces, nephews, like I said. You could have, you know, friends who have kids or grandkids who treat you like a parent or grandparent, okay? As an adult with children in your space, you're supposed to act like the adult who's supposed to show these kids all the good things in life. Love and kindness and caring and non-judgmental and so on and so forth. So, you know, what we do and how we treat our kids is a big deal. But if you're one of those people that you've always been a good person and you've done everything in your power to treat your kids great, with love, with understanding and caring and kindness, and you've taught them right from wrong and how to, you know, have good moral values and so on and so forth, and they don't do that, that's not your fault. Yes, it may hurt, but it's not your fault. They have free will, just like you have free will. And if they choose that they want to move in a direction that's not good for them, then that's their choice. And understand, for some people, it's in their life contract to go into certain things, maybe like addiction or bad relationships or bad circumstances, because they have lessons to learn or they have karma to take care of. I don't know. Everybody's different, but you cannot blame yourself for that. Yes, it hurts, but again, we have to, I love you, but you have to figure this out on your own. You have to make the choice. So please understand that, okay? Because I know that's a big heart center ouch right there. So yeah, I mean, your kids are going to grow up to do their own thing. You're going to find at some point that, you know, like myself, once I grew up and moved out of the house, I had to go stay with my parents for a couple of months while my house was being built with my ex-husband. Oh my God. It was like, oh, I don't remember this. Like, it becomes so different, you know, because your kids grow up to be adults who do things their way and live life their way, right? And you're like, that's not what I taught you. But again, it's just living life. It's, you know, if you choose to have your couch with the cushions only on the right side of the couch, but your kid decides, well, I don't like them on that side, I like them on the other side, it's not a big deal. Okay? So don't let that get you all worked up for, you know, between you and your kids. Some things is worth getting slightly worked up about, and other things, not so much, you know? As my pediatrician told me once, pick your battles. Pick your battles. But so there's a lot, you know, there's a lot of love going around. There really is, you know, and I always tell people, make sure that you tell the people that you do love them. I made it a point because, again, growing up in the 70s into the 80s and so on, it was like your parents really weren't, like, at least mine weren't, you know, the I love you kind of people, you know. It was just assumed, it was understood my parents loved me, which I know they did. But I always made it a point that, you know what, when I have kids someday, I am going to tell those kids every single day that I love them. And I do. I do. I remember bringing my son home. He was the first baby I had. And every single night I put him down in his crib and I'd be there going, I love you. I love you so much. Until this day, he's now 24 and he's like, night, Mom, going to bed. I'm like, good night. I love you. You know, my girls call and they're like, you know, we talk for a bit and whatnot and catch up. And it's like, I love you. You know, it's important. People need to hear that. I have friends that tell me I love you. You know, I mean, it's just, it's part of who we are. There's love, so show it. You know, if you're with somebody like me who didn't have it, make yourself say it. You know, because some people feel funny saying I love you unless it's a romantic thing. It's not just romance where there's love. It's just a different type of love. You can love anybody, but you can be in love with a romantic partner. Big difference. So tell people you love them. It means a lot. Yeah, so, you know, love goes in many different directions. You know, it can even go in the direction of work, believe it or not. Do you love what you do? Do you love where you are? Have you gotten to that point in life where you're actually doing the goal, the dream that you've always wanted to do? You know, like, oh, I love being an artist. I love painting. I love drawing. I love creating. You know, then are you doing that as a job? No. Why not? If that's your love and that's your passion, go after it. You know? So it's like myself and my sister with Sisters of Solace. It's like, you know, I didn't know what all this was before, but when somebody told me about it, I'm like, huh, what's that? And then I started looking into it and I was like, oh my God. I mean, it hit me so hard in my chest. It was like, I have got to do this. I had called a woman up and I was like, who teaches it? Where can I learn it? How much is it? When can I do it? I mean, I need to do this. I love what I do. If somebody told me tomorrow I would have to shut down Sisters of Solace and go get a regular job, I'd be like, oh no. No, I can't do that. I don't like anything out there. Granted, I've done some of those things out there, but those are my stepping stones to get where I am today. And I love what I do. I get up every morning, well, 5 days a week, sometimes 6. Uh, but I get up every morning and go, I'm going to work. I love what I do. I love helping people. I love helping people to heal, whether it's through Reiki or through a reading or through coaching or a meditation or breath work or whatever. I love what I do. And not everybody can say that. So are you doing what you love? Or are you just working to make a paycheck? And you're miserable every bloody day. That's not fun. That's not love. Find something that brings you joy, something that fulfills your purpose, makes your heart swell with happiness. I know it sounds weird, especially when you're talking about work, but it's like, you got to do what you love. I just don't see the point of sticking with something that is just so like, ugh, you dread getting out of bed in the morning because you have to go to this dreadful place to deal with dreadful people for a freaking paycheck. You know what I mean? So you can live life. So if you want to live your dream, your goal, then start working towards that. Manifest it. You know, and if you're not sure what manifesting is, then check out one of my other videos on YouTube where I talk about manifesting and going after your dreams and your goals, because that's what we did for Sisters of Solace. You know, yes, the seed was planted by somebody else, but when we manifested, we need a place. You got to show me the place. You got to help me find the place. Then it's bring the people and more people. And all I can tell you is March 1st of 2024 will be 18 years we've had Sisters of Solace. So when you follow what you love and fulfill your purpose, your purpose will always be there for you. So don't worry about it. So anywho, so those are all the different aspects of love. Love for life, love for parents, love for friends, love for romance, love for jobs, love for self, right? So now, how many things have happened, right? So we talked about different ways that, excuse me, I have 5 thoughts in my head. Talked about different ways of helping the heart to heal. Okay, so we talked about the journaling, writing the letters, meditation, which I'm going to do, cutting cords, working on your self-care. Seriously, do the I love you in the mirror every morning and every night. You got to brush your teeth twice a day, right? Why are you brushing your teeth? I love you. There you go. Tell the people around you that you love them. And if they go, wow, that's weird, that coming from you. You've never said that before. You say, well, you know what? I never knew this before. But I know I love you, and I thought you should hear it. That's it. So, with that being said, let's work on healing some more. All right? So I'm going to guide you through a meditation. It's not going to be very long, but long enough. And I want you to practice it at home. You can do it with me now and continue to do it again later. It's not going to be hard. Remember, meditation is 90% intention, 10% work. Everything we do, 90% intention, 10% work. So get comfortable, whether you're in bed, on the couch, in a chair, wherever you are. And I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And don't be afraid to make noise when you do that. People are going to think, oh my God, everybody's going to think I'm stupid. No, they're not. Breathe in and out. There you go. One more time. Breathe in and let it go. Good. Now, allow your eyes to stay closed. Allow yourself just to listen to my voice. Breathe normally. And I want you to envision yourself in the middle of a beautiful garden. There's all kinds of trees, like a weeping willow, some maple trees, maybe even oak trees. There's some flower beds all around you. And these flower beds have beautiful flowers in colors of orange and yellow and blue and purple, some beautiful reds and yellows. I mean, every color you can imagine, white. Some are two-toned. It's just beautiful. Just envision this in your mind. And as you look around, you begin to see more things in this beautiful garden. Maybe a water fountain, maybe a bird bath, maybe even a few birds on the ground, up in the trees, chirping. The sun is shining, but there's enough shade from the trees that the sun isn't overbearing on your eyes. But you can see the beautiful beams of light coming down, touching the green, green grass. Like this is the most beautiful, perfect garden. It's gorgeous, right? Now allow yourself to relax in that space for a moment and just take in everything you see. Now, what I want you to do is allow yourself to take yourself back to birth. Just envision it, whatever you think that might look like. And I don't mean the whole actual birth, but bring yourself back to that infant day where maybe you'll see yourself in your mother's arms or your dad's arms. Or were you taken away by a nurse? How does this image that comes to your mind, which image it is, doesn't matter, how does it make you feel? Does it hurt? Does it feel loving? Are you unsure? Either way, now I want you to envision that image covered in beautiful green sparkling light. And the intention and the words I want you to say in your mind right now is I heal all hurt, pain, and unlove from my birth here and now. Now allow yourself to bring yourself up to, say, elementary school age. Say around the ages of 9 or 10. Unless you can remember a specific time in elementary school that you'd love to heal, do that as well. See yourself at that time. Do you remember a time where maybe a teacher made you feel unloved? Or maybe another student was bullying you, which makes you feel unloved? Or maybe a friend who no longer wanted to be a friend, so now you feel unwanted and unloved. Hold that image for a moment. Now, envision that beautiful green sparkling light just all over that image. All over you, all over the other people involved, the whole situation. And just allow that energy to move into that space and see it clear out till it's beautiful, bright white light. Now let's repeat the process as we move into middle school. Do you remember a point in middle school that maybe you felt unwanted, unloved, unneeded? Did a teacher do or say something that was not nice? Did another student bully you? Did somebody not friend you anymore? Whatever it may have been. Do you feel like you were one of those unpopular kids that everybody just picked on as you walked down the hallway? Cover that thing. Just cover it with that beautiful green sparkling light, healing light. Archangel Raphael's healing energies. Just fill it all up. Fill it all up and watch as the green begins to turn white, healing that part of your life. Now move on. High school. Maybe you just got crushed by your first crush. Maybe your first relationship ended. Maybe friendships ended. Maybe there's issues with mom or dad. You're fighting. You're a teenager. Maybe there's disagreements and boundaries that aren't happening and all kinds of things, misunderstandings, whatever it may be. And just pour green, sparkling light all over that, all over it. And hold that intention for a moment until you begin to see the green turning white. Beautiful white light, showing the healing process of that moment in time. Now allow yourself to bring yourself up to your first real falling in love relationship. Did that relationship work? Did it fall apart? Did you get married like you wanted to only end in a divorce? Was there abuse? Whatever it may be, cover that up in light. Beautiful green, sparkling light. And allow that light to heal all those feelings, all those thoughts, all those heartaches, all those holes in your heart. Just fill it all up, that beautiful green, sparkling light. And just keep going until all that green light begins to turn white. Now I want you to go ahead and move yourself up even further, and this time I'm going to allow you to pick something in your life that has hurt your heart. Maybe it was the passing of a mom, a dad, sister, brother, grandparent, aunt, uncle, cousin, friend, whatever it may be. Maybe somebody hurt your heart. Maybe you went out on a date and it didn't go well. Maybe a friend stopped being friends with you. Maybe somebody at work made you feel less than. Maybe a boss made you feel stupid. Maybe, who knows? You know. You know what hurts. Who or what hurt your heart? I want you to bring green light to that situation, that person, whatever it may be. And I want you to pour that green sparkling light all over it. All over you, all over the person, all over the situation. And just hold that green light energy in there till it turns white. Now, as you're sitting there, listening to my voice, I want you to place your right hand on the top of your chest. And I want you to place your left hand right under the breastbone on your solar plexus. And I want you to take a nice deep breath in and out. Feel that energy under your right hand. That's your heart. Feel that. That is you. That is your love. That is your purpose. Feel the energy from your hand now pouring into your heart. Repeat after me. In your mind, say, I am now willing and ready to receive unconditional love for myself. I am now willing and ready to receive love for myself, love for family, love for friends, love for my significant other. And I'm also willing and ready to receive love for my goals and my dreams because they mean a lot to me. Repeat after me. My heart is wide open. My heart is healed. My heart is love. Now just take a few more seconds and just feel the energy underneath your hands on your chest and on your solar plexus. Feel that energy. Feel that love. And anytime you want to feel more love, more unconditional love in your heart center, ask Mother Mary to come in and place her hands on your heart. And as she does this, you will feel your hand and your chest beginning to warm like never before. You may even feel tingling and vibration under your hand, which shows you her hand touching your heart. So last, repeat after me. In your mind, say, I love myself. I love my mind. I love my body. I love my soul. I love who I am. I am a spark of the divine. I am love. Now, take one last deep breath in through the nose and exhale through your mouth. And when you're ready, open your eyes. How do you feel? Do you notice a difference? And that was a very short meditation. You don't always need an hour. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and you do that a few times and you'll notice. You will begin to feel better little by little. So, that is my talk for February, the month of love. Be sure to love yourself. Be sure to love others. And let the love be unconditional. And if you can't show the love, show the boundaries. So with that being said, I want to thank all of you for watching. Do that meditation more and more as you need it. You know, you can't over meditate. You can do it daily. You can do it weekly to check in. And if it hurts, well, then it's going to hurt. That's all part of the healing. If it's unbearable, then you know what? Maybe back off a little bit, give it a little bit, and try again. But it's going to help. You got to keep your heart open. If your heart's not open, you can't be love. And if you can't be love, then you can't love anybody else. So, happy Valentine's Day. Happy month of love. And I want you to know, as always, I love all of you. All my clients, my customers, those of you who watch the videos. I love you all. Till next time.